there with the middle finger. Fuck the system, huh? With the feather. No, I got a good conversation about that too. Damn, dude, a lot's happened in between now because there's this one chick that I know who's Native American, and she gave me this really good insight on the culture and stuff that I never ever thought about. Just so many different things that they do, and like living on the reservation and growing up on the reservation as well. You're Native American, right?
Mexican.
Fuck, I thought you were. But yeah, it's not bad. It's the thick black hair is what,
I get that
is what got me.
a lot.
You know what's so funny? I never run into Native American people really, but you are somebody who could pass as a Native American person. But but being around them a little bit more, I kind of have a better understanding of what they kind of look like. But
no, I'm.
Yeah, where are you from again? Yeah, tell me like that a little bit. Born and then raised where?
Well, I was raised in Chicago. Born in Mexico, raised in Chicago.
Okay.
But every time I go out, and not every time, a lot of the times when I go out, I'll have people just ask me for not prompted for no reason. They'll just ask me what tribe I'm from.
Yeah, I can see that. That's so funny.
Although it would bother me when it was just white people asking me.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's...
Because it on Capitol Hill, it happened quite a bit. Of course. I would have right. White dudes who have purple and blue hair ask me what tribe I'm from. Right. And what I wanted to say is that appropriate? Like, should you be asking me what tribe I'm from? Right. Like, just assuming? Just to turn the tables on them. Right. But I just say, no, I'm Mexican. And they're like, oh. And then they just stops there. Yeah.
And then they're just like, what the... That's so funny, man. Because it's funny because it's people... That's the other thing, too, with that whole side. It's like, it's just trying to be too understanding almost.
Right.
Like, I'm just a stranger. Like, what the fuck does it almost matter where I'm from? You know what I mean? Like, because first of all, you're wrong. So that's already awkward. And second, even if I told you where I'm from, then what? Like, you know the difference between... What are you going to do with that information? Right. Okay, you say I'm Blackfoot. Okay. So then, like, because you don't know anything about it. So you're asking me just to ask me. Like, you're not asking me to then be like, oh, my dad's from that tribe. You know what I mean? You're not, like, trying to get to know me. You're just... You feel better, I feel like, throughout your day when you ask somebody.
I don't know if I do answer it with, Duwamish or something. I'm super curious if they're going to say... I'm sorry I'm on your stolen land or something like that.
They probably would. Yeah, it's like the shit. It's funny too when you see they probably would, and they just try to give you their car or something. But it's funny or Skittles. It's funny when you see people too like apologizing to black people. I think that's very fascinating. Like they're on one knee and they're because here's the thing: is there a lot of fuckery? 100%, and I agree with a lot of it. But I feel weird when people thank me for the art I create. So I can't even imagine how awkward I feel if somebody were to thank me just randomly because their great-great-great-grandfather, whatever, his last name was Washington, and he, did whatever he did. But yeah, for me, I don't know, maybe that comes from my childhood, but I have this weird thing of accepting things like that. So I want that the least, actually. Like, I don't like praise. I don't know. It just makes me feel weird.
100%. I 100% relate to that because I don't do really well with compliments either. I don't like it. It's whenever I say this, usually someone says, "Oh, but you what are they? They just
they're surprised or something."
Yeah, they just say, "Oh, everyone likes compliments." I'm like, no, that's not true.
Yeah, because people say that to me. It's like yes and no.
Yeah, and they'll say stuff. It's like, then why do you want pictures and post pictures? Right. Then why do you record a show that no one listens? Like, right. They'll say why I do all these things, and I'm like, well, I mean, true, you can say that. Why do I take pictures and post pictures?
Yeah,
but the answer then is I'm not. First of all, I don't look to see what.
Because fuck you, it's not for you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And I like to take pictures. And it's like every picture isn't great. It's a lot of pictures suck.
Can I say something? See, the problem is because you think that I have to fucking explain something to you.
Yeah,
that's the fucking problem. Who gives a fuck why I do anything? Fuck you. Because like people be asking you stuff like that, but they're not even.
Did you say a little bit ago that people thanked you for being black?
No, but I've seen that before.
You've seen that? Okay.
Oh yeah. Like I'll see it on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Like people are on their knees, like thanking people, or like they're like, "I'm so sorry," they're my ancestors. It's just like, hey, dude, I'm walking to work right now.
So Elijah,
stand up.
Are you telling me that you've never made white people kneel? And
I've not. Yeah, I'll go on the record, and I've never made a white person kneel down to me
and say, "Please, please apologize."
Yeah, I like the grit. I'm a grit person, dude. I like the fight. Give it to me. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like because you know what? Actually, to go back to what you were saying about the compliments, you know what I think it is with you too, because you said you're from Chicago, and I see the boxes. We have a lot to get into. Fuck, I don't even know if we got time. But so I'm guessing, fuck. Let's start here. Did you grow up in like a rough area at all in Chicago? Did you fight a lot as a kid? Did you feel like you had to defend yourself? Like, is that how you got into boxing, or like what was that for? You just a passion for Muhammad or something, or
no? I did. So I grew up in a suburb of Chicago, Aurora, and it wasn't the worst neighborhood.
Like middle.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of lots of gangs in Aurora.
I see.
Because what happened was, in the 70s and 80s, Chicago started shutting down their public housing, and they started moving people west. And Aurora was the first city on the way west, so a lot of people went there, and gangs started to pop up. Right. So lots of gangster disciples, lots of Latin kings, vice lords, like all of these gangs started up. So, mid 90s, I mean, drugs and gang violence and hearing shots every day was pretty common.
So it just felt like a way to protect yourself, just in case.
Well, not even boxing. Boxing stuff is relatively new.
Oh, okay.
But my parents identified that public schools weren't the best, so they always put me in a private school. So I went to a private school my whole
whole thing. Interesting perspective then, because I feel like the private schools are just a bunch of fucking yuppies. But not to be too vulgar,
I went to a private school that was basically I was in a graduating class of 3.
Shit,
that's how small this school.
So was. I went to a small school when I was in middle school, when I was a little bit younger. So I can relate. Not 3 people, but I get what you. Okay,
and I was 3rd.
Fuck. Okay, so yeah, y'all were small as shit then. Okay,
very small. Grades 8 through 12 were in one room.
Fuck,
that's nuts. It was about 32 kids.
Damn, so y'all dating the same people and everything, huh?
Man, that's crazy. I had no action.
I had
no game when I was a kid.
That's fuck.
I'm still waiting for that part to evolve.
I don't got game either. Game is too hard nowadays, dog. Like there's too much. And what's funny too, there's 2 things involved in that. It's like being from a small town and also the private school thing that I can relate to. I think those kids and those women they're the most outlandish. The most outlandish women I've ever met were like Christian girls. Or Catholic girls when I was growing up in school or whatever. They just like rebel and go the opposite direction, I feel like, a lot of the time. But, it is what it is. But the private school thing is fascinating to me, too, because I've always thought, like, I would want to send my kids to a good school and everything. But I feel like I don't like giving them that stigma and that label. So how do you feel like being in a private school was for you?
Oh, I would have. Perfect.
You liked it?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't hang around any active gang members, but I was probably one friend separated from gangbangers.
Yeah, you seem like you'd be a very curious person. Like you would like to know about it, but not be necessarily doing it.
From when I was a little kid, I knew that basically I never looked at any drug dealer or gangbanger and thought, that looks so cool.
Like a cool thing. Yeah.
I never. It's like they all look like idiots to me.
Right.
From when I was small, looking up to someone.
I got you.
And because you hear that's a common thing where young boys will see
this and
we'll see this type of lifestyle and then glorify it. And it's like, I want to be that. I want to. I did it. Like, no, these guys are.
You want to know why that might be though? Let me ask you something else. How was a little person? How was your relationship like with your parents and everything? Did you feel confident in yourself? Like, did you feel like a good kid?
Yeah, no, my parents were strict up until I was 16, and then they kind of just gave up. So up until I was 16, They forced me to go to church every Sunday. My dad took me to get my haircut every 2 weeks, every twice a month, and told the barber flat top. I couldn't go anywhere really unless I had approval 2 days prior. They were super strict. But once I turned 16 and I got my driver's license and I got my first real job,
the freedom,
it kind of just, I think they knew at that point we've done what we could, and vaya con Dios.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the best that we're going to do. So I graduated from high school, which thrilled my parents, because there was a bunch of, kids around my age that they knew that dropped out and, ended up in the proverbial, in jail or bad situations. I finished high school. The only thing that I did that I disappointed my parents was that I got married when I was really young.
Oh, that's interesting. That's the thing that,
They were not.
How young were you?
I was about to be 19.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I got married when I was super young. It ended horribly.
I was about to say, yeah, that's a good conversation. It wasn't good,
but I was, that did last for 5 years.
Okay. Okay, I want to get back to that, but something real quick is, you know what I think it is with you, though? I think at that young age, you had a sense of identity in a way. Like, you kind of probably knew that you didn't want to go down that path, but maybe going to church every Sunday or being with your parents kind of gave you a sense of direction or maybe a sense of belonging. Because for me, now that I'm thinking about it, I remember when I was a kid, I looked up to, but I wanted to start listening to 50 Cent. You know what I mean? 50 Cent, all that type of shit. So I went up to my mom and I started playing his music for her. And she started just saying, because I was 10 or something, 11. I was young
How old
as
are you?
Fuck. 26.
Yeah, I'm way older than you.
Yeah, gotcha. It's time for, okay, so we're looking at different rap. Interesting. So you're looking at Pac, Big, that type of shit.
Yeah.
So I was looking at this guy and I would show her stuff. She's like, you sure you want to do that, this and that? And I would sit there and think, I don't belong to anything because I'm adopted. So I have, both my parents are both Caucasian. So my mom's like a 5'6" brunette lady. My dad's this, I'll be nice to him, 5'10" redheaded guy, right? 5'10" redheaded dude. You should have seen senior night for football. That shit was comedy. I'm walking across the football field with my parents. People thinking I just found him on the street in the local fucking Safeway and just bringing out these white folk to walk me across the field so I don't get fucking shot by the police. Hey, stop that man. He's stealing a football. No, so both my parents are white like that. And then this is what I say to people when you're never going to meet someone like me. This is what I mean. I have a sister from Haiti, a sister from Liberia, a sister from Cambodia, and then 2 brothers who are biological to my adopted parents, and then there's me. So I'm the only black male in my family, but there's 8 of us, So so then there's that. And then growing up through school, oh man, how many white? I don't think I even had black friends now that I think about it. There was 7, bottle opener, my man. There was 4 niggas in my whole school, and that's small school. Big school at Skyline, there was 2,200 something kids, well, probably 20 something, half on the football team. You know what I'm saying? So we just didn't have a lot of that around. So I just didn't really belong to anything because I wasn't white, obviously. So you don't just get that card and get to go in that group. But then I was always around white people and Asian people and Indian people. So I was never black enough to be in the black crowd. I was always an Oreo, is what they would say. So that it kind of forced me to become an individual. And I think that's why 50 Cent, I was drawn to that so much, wanting to be a part of that black culture so much. Even though I was black, I didn't really feel like I was a part of it in a sense. Because where I grew up, my family, whatever the case may be. So I think that's why I gravitated towards that so much. I mean, the guy had a fucking bulletproof vest on. He's been shot 8 times. I'm from Whidbey Island. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of similarities in that. But that's funny when you start to break it down. I have friends from Bellevue who like 21 Savage, and I'm like, dog, that don't even fucking that makes no sense. So I get it if you like the music, but to me, it was really figuring out who I was and trying to bond to something, And so I think dealing with that as a child though and growing up and never really feeling like I could fit into one avenue. Yeah. I think that's what put me in the spot that I'm in today is just not giving a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
So you, from what I hear, and you were conscious that you didn't fit in in white culture
Oh,
or black
100%.
culture. But so
from like age 7.
what did you do with that feeling though? Did you have an angry phase? Did you
Good
have
question.
a lash out phase?
What did I do with that? I was quiet, I would say. I think I'm way more quiet than people would portray and see, or that I give off. Because I dealt with a lot at a young age, and I want to go in the pity party because everybody has a sob story, right? But for me, how I've figured out how to channel it is I just really try to be the most uplifting person I can be when I'm around people in terms of energy, because I know what it's like to be in a position where you don't want to, take your own life type of a thing. So I get where it's like to be in that headspace. So I never want to be the reason why somebody would feel that low about themselves in any capacity. So I always just try to be as upbeat as possible. And I think how I got through it at a younger age, because I did it was through a lot of fashion, like art and stuff.
Okay.
Because I was always into shoes and fashion. And I think that's a way that would give me confidence, was through shoes and fashion, like Jordans. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it would make me feel good about myself, I think, to have those types of things. Because there was nothing else in my life I could control that I think would bring me happiness that like a new t-shirt would bring me, or whatever the fuck. Because now that I'm older, I like vintage stuff a lot because it has a nostalgia to it. Like I like old AC/DC shirts because my dad has an AC/DC dollar from the first fucking concert he went to with my mom. That was their first date. So to me at a young age, I saw stuff like that, and that was always cool to me, was to have memorabilia from something like that. Like when I meet my wife, it would be cool to be 57 or whatever the fuck, and like have something like that. But I think I just channeled it through shoes, through fashion, through sports and athletics, but I never really got the praise or attention from people in athletics like I always wanted to, or from the people that I would have wanted it from. It was always the people that I've wanted it from that I don't get it from. And that's still in life with a lot of things, because I think a lot of us are really doing it for a couple people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to work every day for your wife. Like, you don't really do it for other people necessarily, but you do it for her to acknowledge that I work hard for us. And when that specific person doesn't do that, it kind of fucks you up a little bit and throws you off your rocker. So I feel like me, through sports, fashion, or whatever, that was tough for me because I couldn't draw. Like, dude, I was drawing Nike shoes when I was like 10 years old, but I couldn't draw. And I remember talking to my friends, my mom, about that. Like, I can't draw, but I really want to draw. I have all these ideas, but I just can't. And they were just like, well, you can't really draw, so focus on other things. It was kind of that conversation. It wasn't like you can do whatever you want. It was more so, do this because this is the safe thing that makes the most sense. And I guess my brain never worked like that. Whether it was sports, whether it was video games, it was always like, assess the situation. What do I think is the most logical thing to do in this situation to give me the best outcome? Like, okay, let's say you're playing Halo, for example. This happens in anything in life. It's just all about how can I put myself in the best position to succeed. I've always thought that way in anything. And that's relationships, and that's even with people that I disagree with or agree with. But like, if you're playing, this is video games, so a lot of people might not even fucking get this. But if you're playing Halo or something and somebody's coming around the corner, how I do it is like, you're going to bounce a grenade off the ground because it's going to bounce in a certain direction. It's going to explode at a certain point, which means with a battle rifle, you're one shot now. So if I throw it, but this is way before it even happens. I see the person coming down the stairs or wait really far away. So I'm just obviously going to preset the stage for myself to put myself in the best situation to win. And as a kid, I loved video games. And I think that's kind of why it kind of gave me this ability to logically play out scenarios in my head to put myself in situations to win. And I think I kind of translated that to fashion and other things. You know what I mean?
I mean, well,
that's not how normal people look at video games. That's how I would look at it.
You're probably seeing it as in video games facilitated you thinking that way. Right. But that's just you, though. It was just your first your first opportunities to show that skill that you have was in video games.
Interesting.
So I mean, if it had, if you had been a musician, you would have used that same skill to then dissect and study music. Or if you had been a traditional artist with paint, you would have used that skill to learn about art theory and what paints do what and things like that. It just so happens that video games allowed you to harness that part of yourself first. To
see patterns. Yeah,
and that's just innate in you. That's just part of your DNA. And it was able to show through video games.
Oh, well, that's nice. I appreciate it. I never really thought about it like that. But because now in football, too, that's the thing for me. I played wide receiver a lot. And I was never I was fast, but I was never the fastest. I was strong, but I was never the strong. I was probably the strongest receiver, maybe. I mean, in high school, I was like clean 290 maybe as a wide receiver. But like, it was one of those things where I separated myself in athletics and football specifically was I felt as if I just understood the game and I understood things better than everybody else. And now that I do the fashion and market myself in that way, the only thing I ever was good at, I feel like, was understanding humans and how they operate and what they're going to do next. And even in football, it's like that. It doesn't...
The human condition, yeah.
Dude, it's just human nature in so many things in life. I would know it doesn't matter how much this person is necessarily trained. It doesn't matter how much they know our offense. If I put this person in this situation every time, they will react this way every time. For example, if I were to pick something up and fake throw it at you, you will flinch. Maybe if you're fucking Conor McGregor and a UFC fighter, you won't because you like pain and you're fucking psycho. But 99% of people, if I were to grab this and go like this, you'd be like, whoa. Yeah. Right? So I know that. Humans just do human-like things all the time. So I know if I'm running a route and I get on your heels and I'm in a certain position, like my body's in a certain position, I know if I react a certain way, you will react. And it's never not worked. You can watch my highlights, as lame as that sounds.
Yeah.
But I knew if I got behind somebody and I could stem them, and it's never failed ever once, swear to God. And I can, because in the heat of the moment, when everybody's running full speed, fuck your training. It's so rooted in human nature. Like, that's why people can catch a football. I could go out with my brother all day long. He couldn't catch a football to save his fucking life. I'm a bad coach in that way because I'm like, just do it.
Right.
Like, just grab it. It's not hard. Like, for me, I can see a ball, I don't know, 8 feet in the air, just go up and I just get it. Because I just know I just can do that.
Yeah.
But he can do math. My brain doesn't get fucking calculus for shit. I could show my brother a calculus problem that he has never seen and has not done in years, and he can do it.
Right.
You give me fractions and I'll shit myself. Like, if you had a gun in my head and you were like, solve these fractions or you die.
That should be on a t-shirt.
Dying. Yeah, give me fractions, I'll shit myself. Swear, I'll die. No, I would rather have to swim 3 miles at night through water, which is my biggest fear, than solve a fraction problem to save my wife. Like, I swear, dude. I'm so bad at but that's when I started to learn, like, humans, like, certain people can just do things.
Right.
Without even explain music. Michael Jackson, explain that, dude. Explain how he learned. No, he didn't learn that. Yeah. Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson. Chris Brown's is Chris Brown. I can't be LeBron. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain things in life that people just kind of have, and they get these gifts, and I just realized that at a very young age. You know,
I think that's super key. That's super key to identify those things, because a lot of people are lazy when it comes to identifying things in other people. They just they aren't curious. Did you see the show Ted Lasso?
No. Heard of him.
It's on Apple. The first season was great. The other ones were horrible. They sucked. But the first season, there's this guy who challenges him to a game of darts. And he puts up high stakes right away, and Ted accepts the challenge. And he needs to do 2 triple 20s and a 50 to win on his last turn. And then he goes through this monologue where he goes, I've been underestimated my whole life, and I know why. And it's because people aren't curious. People have never asked me what I love that. Something about myself. And in this particular case, he goes, no one's asked me why have I ever played darts? Because then I would answer yes. I played every day for however many years with my dad, and then he just hit those things.
Right.
But being curious to ask questions about others, to try to get better perspective or just learn something new, is super lacking.
That's important.
It is super, because then otherwise, what do you have? I mean, I was amongst a group for a couple years that had zero curiosity about a whole lot of things. So everything that was spoken about was just in agreement. It was just this big yes. It was just this big circle of people just saying, yes, you're awesome. you're awesome, get it, let's get it, we're great,
yeah,
let's do this, we're getting, like, that's all it was. There was no curiosity in terms of someone saying, how are we going to do it? What'll happen if we do this? Like, zero curiosity, 100% fake, unwarranted fake congratulations.
Interest. Yeah, because that's a really good point. You bring that up because my old manager always taught me this in sales. We would call it, you have to be friendly curious. And also, fellas, this works with ladies too. But you got to be friendly curious. And what that means is like you're being as kind, as possible and having a nice conversation like we are. But you just ask people questions and you ask them like we would be in sales, like, how's your health? And they would explain it to you. You make, oh, okay, you listen to them and you give them an ear and you reply to whatever the last 3 words that they said. And then you say, okay, like what else?
Yeah.
And then like all of a sudden you figure out that they have, triple bypass surgery, they have 10 stints or whatever, because you're just being friendly and you're actually interested in what the fuck they have to say. And the problem is people will bring something up and they'll say something and then they don't actually listen. Nothing fucking grinds my gears more when people ask me something and then they're not actively listening to what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, all friends ask me something, like advice, and then like they're on their phone. I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Like, what the fuck? If you don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or like you'll tell people 1,000 times and they don't. But
well, it's
friendly, curious is good.
Your type of person, from what I'm hearing, it's your type of personality that then, because you are this way, you are curious of human nature, and so you identify, identify. One of my, I don't listen to, I boycotted him because he fired my 2 favorite co-hosts, but Adam Carolla, he talks about how he doesn't really care what people say. He cares what they do. And then if he works with you, what he pays most attention to is your habits. Like if you have a habit, if your actions are then habits, then that is what you are showing me of you. And that is what I will think of you. So if your habit is to always be late, or if your habit is to not pay attention to details, it's like listen. You are right. And it's like that's the type of person you are. But the people, like what I'm hearing from you just now is like you pay attention to those things. So always. You've watched enough, you've studied enough to know if you're running a play, what will happen if I do X, Y, or Z? Right. That's the level of curiosity and investment in learning that is lacking a whole ton. And you're young, you're a kid, really. But amongst young people, that there is just no. I mean, I'm gonna sound like the old man here.
I'm here. I love it.
But it's sort of true. It's like they're so self-involved. Ego is so huge that it's like no, thank you.
It's a killer, man. I mean, money and greed, a lot of that comes back to ego. But
everything is so fake a lot.
That's the thing. It's not, a lot of it's not, but that's what you realize too, especially in finance, or, I used to sell insurance and do that type of a thing. But the biggest thing that I've learned too is obviously how fake it is, and how the people who are really doing it are people like, they post about their craft and about what they do, but they don't really boast about the results of what they do.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I know a lot of DJs, for example, for example, a lot of like a lot of these EDM artists that I'm into, like they're very humble dudes, but they're doing big numbers. Yeah. I mean, the show that I was at for Subtronics, I think he had 16,000 people there. One of the shows that Aletium did. Guy. Oh yeah. He had like 40,000 people. So they're getting to the point where you're like, okay, some of these biggest artists, your favorite rappers, aren't putting up half of that, not even remotely close. But it's about the craft and about the music, and there's so many other things that go into that. But I think a lot of people put on the facade for... It's sad because it's not even for themselves, obviously. It's just to project to other people, and how they want people to perceive them. But I've learned that too, dude. That's the crazy thing, is perception's reality. I've learned that the hard way, where I try to be a good person. True. And what fucking pisses me off is here's what people are going to get this. It always seems like they get away with it. And that's what pisses me the fuck off. You know
why? Because people only care about things in 30-second chunks.
Right.
So, I mean, even though cancel culture is rampant, I mean, you hear a lot of people saying the only reason cancel culture has really taken off is because the people who they're trying to cancel actually give them legitimacy. It's
makes
like,
them uncomfortable.
It's like, just ignore them. If you are someone who did, I don't know, let's anyone who's gotten canceled, it's instead of then saying, doing the culpa mia and dragging, getting on your knees and apologizing for a dumb thing that you said, just ignore it. They will, this whole idiot mob will find something tomorrow,
and
then
true.
It will go like that.
They'll move on.
That's why they get away with, so it's like, a few notches down from horrible mistakes. But that's why perception is, people believe everything. It's because they believe it, but then they forget about it the next minute. So it doesn't even matter.
Right.
That's why people have to keep on making stuff,
new headlines, and it's the time.
Yeah,
people just don't have the time to go look it up. So, for example, if an article comes out about me for something, let's just say in the future something said something, people are just going to take it for face value because wow, they look into it. Because they don't give a fuck enough about you. Because here's the, what's so funny, it's whatever bias you already have. If you don't like me, you'll believe it. So literally right now, listen, if you don't like me right now, in 10 years, if something comes out, you'll just believe it. You don't give a fuck if it's true or not because you don't like me. So you don't want me to win, whatever the fuck. And that was what makes me want to go back to what you were saying as a kid. And this shit pisses me off. Is you're a pretty tall guy. Were you a big person when you were growing up in school? Like, were you decently sized? Okay, like above average.
I was
like
husky.
Height. Okay. Freshman, 15 years old, how tall were you in weight-wise? You're a dude, so I'll ask.
I don't know.
Take a guess. Because now you're like 6 foot.
I'm 5'11".
Right.
On a good day. I don't know. Maybe like 5'6".
Oh, you're 15?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. So you grew up later. Okay. So this is a me thing then.
Or maybe a little. Yeah. I would say 5'6", 5'7". But I was chunky.
Good for you though. You grew up. You sprouted.
I was not good at sports. I was on the basketball team in 7th and 8th grade. Didn't play. And then I was in a city league for 2 summers with a couple of my friends and barely played.
Right.
No, I'm not.
Because what I was going to say is, and now I've just realized this in this conversation, I think it's not even a color thing so much more now, but looking back as a kid, people are always just rude to me in a way. And it's always men. And I think this is why I work with women a lot. And it's funny because, doing what I do, I'm around a lot of women a lot of models, whatever, a lot of pretty girls. And what's interesting with that is how other dudes perceive that. So other dudes will like message me and they'll say things like, please tell me like you hooked up with so or what, like they look at these women like I'm just fucking them. You get what I'm saying? But what's interesting with that is like, that's interesting that you think that of me, because these women, I work with them because they're easier, and here's why. If I need to control a room, what's easier, to control a room of 200 women or 200 men? 200 women by 1,000. It's easier. I can control. Literally, think about this. I can control 250 women more easy than I can control 5 dudes.
Right.
Because of ego, just whatever the fuck it is. I can get on a table in front of 250 girls and say, guys, quiet. I can say whatever, and I can just talk to them, and they'll listen. They'll stand there, they'll chit-chat, giggle, whatever the fuck, but they'll listen to what the fuck I have to say. Literally, 5 dudes will question why this dude is talking. Who fucks this guy? I don't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a shotgun. Like, they just don't care.
Right.
So, like, I learned that at a very young age, and also at a young age, I learned that people only care about pretty women and men. Women want to be around pretty women, and so do men. So in my head, I'm like, why the fuck would I work with dudes when they argue, they get physical, they're temperamental, they have ego involved, they don't like you literally just because you're taller. Like, all of these things go into play. No, it's a real thing. Like, fuck people. Like, that's a real, in that sense.
There's a whole lot of insecurity there.
Dude, right, but think about this, right? So because I don't want to have to deal with shit. Because in the back of a lot of dudes' heads, they don't want you to win, right? But I feel like a woman actually does. So when I talk to these ladies, and I have conversations with these women, like I'm getting an Airbnb for the show we're doing next weekend, and like I will literally sit outside until 5 and smoke with this chick, and I'll just talk to her. I'll get to know her and all these types of things. And what you come to find is like, they actually want to see you succeed because they feel like they can be a part of your success. They actually feel like, okay, if this person wins, I can be a part of that, and I care about him, and so I want him to succeed because I can also be a part of that.
Yeah.
Dudes don't look at it that way. A dude's going to look at it as a competition, no matter what his field is, and that's what's funny. He could be a plumber, it doesn't matter. But another man just being more successful than him, I'm telling you, subconsciously bothers that person. They'll never say ever.
Well, there's that, it's relatively new, that I've heard, but there's a video going around that has already tons and tons of variations, but the audio is, the only man who wants you to be better than him is your dad.
And that is still, I would debate that. I would debate
a good
that.
Dad.
A good dad. Okay, there we go. Because off of that, I actually used to have this friend who he wants to beat his dad. Okay, this is what's crazy. I used to work at this job, right? And my friend's dad used to run the shit. And I remember one time he brings me to his fucking office, dude. I'm sitting across, dude. I've never had somebody say more hurtful things to me in my entire life than this fucking person. So I'm sitting across from this person. You know what he tells me? And obviously his kid doesn't know this, but he's sitting there and he goes, if you do, I'll say names in this podcast when it's good things, but when it's negative, I don't want to say names. But I'm sitting there like, he goes, Elijah, if you do X, Y, Z, and you work hard at this job, this, and this, after a certain amount of time, you can pass so and so. And I was like, that's a weird way to look at life. Why in your brain are you pitching me this business opportunity as a way for me to beat someone else?
Yeah.
I don't give a flying fuck what happens to that other person. He's my friend. I don't give a fuck. If he has 2 Lamborghinis, I'm happy for him. And if he has a Toyota Corolla, I'm there for him. I don't give a fuck, bro. So the fact that you're pitching me the job in that way, we don't think the same. I'm coming from a completely different angle than you're coming from. The fact that that's in your mind at all to tell that to me is fascinating. Because on the flip side, the same person, their kid's telling me that they want to beat their father. So I'm sitting here in this situation like, okay, so he's telling me about how I can beat you and you want to beat him. So there's a cesspool that you guys don't even know that's going on of envy.
Yeah.
So he low-key doesn't want him to pass you and you low-key want to pass him. I don't think like either of you. I don't want to be a part of any of it.
I think that's okay. I think that is an acceptable way to look at things.
In the sense of like from like the guy's perspective of like to pass somebody else or the perspective of,
because first of all, that's male biology,
right?
That competition between males is genetically stitched into men. Like I was watching there's this Instagram account called Nature's Metal, and they posted this video today about 2 stags that were one of them had actually killed the other one. So then they wrote up this explanation of why they do this, and basically it's rutting when stags they're ready to bang,
right?
Because the does are in heat and they're ready to, they want to have sex,
right?
So the stags, the male deer will protect either the female deers that he's already collected, and it's like, these are mine. They will fight either to protect or they will fight, vice versa, to go and take it from someone. But these 2 males are going to fight,
right?
And kill. One of them's going to die. Well, one of them is going to die,
right? And
but it could end in death. Like that's just gonna happen.
No, let me reset the stage though. Maybe I didn't explain it correctly. So now put it this way. That makes perfect sense, and I get competing. Why it's weird though is because this is somebody I've known for like over a decade, right? So you got to put in the sense of, this is somebody who's talking to me who I've known for that long, and also I've known your kid for this long. And so it's not like random people.
Yeah.
These are people who have been in my life for like an extended period of time. So I can't picture myself having a son, and then my son has a friend, and then throughout that time frame, the son then works for me. And then I go to that friend and explain to him how he can then beat my son if he does X, Y, Z. That's where it's weird.
That is
because weird. I know you. You're right. If it's a random person, that makes perfect sense. Of course, that makes sense. You want to beat everybody. I do. You know what I mean? I want the best clothing brand. Like, I get that. But so does the other guy. So I understand that. But where the difference is, I don't expect that from you, though. I expect that from every other man on planet Earth.
So this guy hates his dad. Is that what you're saying?
You tell me. Right? See, now that's funny because you tell me. I don't know. I have my own opinions on it.
Yeah.
But you sit and boil with that, and you tell me what you think. So now it changes the stage. So this is somebody that I've known for X amount of time, right? Since I was 16 years old, whatever the fuck. And so now this is somebody who also is telling me how they don't like, not that they don't like him, but they want to beat the person that raised them.
Yeah. No, and that's not also a good relationship.
Right. Right. Hey, take it with what you want, but I'm crazy. So then you also have the person who's the parent who is then telling the friend of the kid, hey, if you do X, Y, Z, you can beat him out. Dude, y'all are my family. I don't give a fuck about beating you. I don't go home and look at my brother and think how I can beat him.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I completely get it. That then also ties back to curiosity. So this man never asked you questions to find out what drives you.
Exactly, because he didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. And it's like, should ever...
And that's fine. You don't have to care.
I don't think that I would be too... There's only... Well, there's my wife, and then there's a friend and a half that I really care, and I want to help them. My boy Kelly, I want to help him do whatever, because he's a writer. And actually, I didn't do a formal start to the show, so we'll need to do one at the beginning.
I got you.
But my boy Kelly is a writer. He's written screenplays. He's writing these books, and that book right there called Infernal Combustion.
I like the cover.
Yeah, he wrote that. So it's like I want to help him in whatever I can to get his work out there. I'm actively vested.
Right. Okay.
But other than that, like I don't want people too vested.
But that's
in my
it.
stuff.
But stop right there. That's the point. Everything you just said is perfect for what we're talking about because it was all about him.
Yeah.
All your energy went into, because I could tell you were talking about him. You were thinking about him and how you can help him succeed. That's perfect. I love that. I wish that's how that person came to me about it.
Right.
I wish you came to me about it of, I care about you. I could see you doing this. I could see you. Why are you bringing up the other person?
Yeah.
Why are you? See, because then that would have made it weird if you said, oh, I get the answer to it, but I'm just talking. I get it. I don't want to say what I get it. I'm smart enough to understand.
That's just the lazy way to motivate people. Of saying you can have a higher status than someone else.
Right. And that's what's interesting though too, is you thinking that I give a fuck that what that person thinks in that way. Yeah. Because you care what people think in that way. Yeah, so you're projecting. You're projecting, but you don't even know you're projecting because you're a narcissist and like you're in this certain position where nobody pushes it back against you.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't even know that I peep what you're, and that's the funny thing too, is people think I'm retarded because I'm fucking 6'1" and black. So no one thinks I'm smart. No, I'm being dead fucking serious in that sense where it's like, the first time I was ever told that I was smart was 22 years of age. I'll never forget it. I was in a client's house selling insurance, and I was explaining something to her, and I was talking in her sermon. She's like, wow, you're very, very smart. I'll never forget it. I was wearing a blue shirt, black slacks, brown shoes. No one in my entire life since I was until 22 years of age told me I was an intelligent human being. Swear to God. So I know that's not how people view me. I know it's not. When you see me with tattoos on my chest, walking into a grocery store, you don't think there's a scholar. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I'm going to clutch my purse or whatever the fuck you're going to think. But I know sure as shit you're not thinking smart. That's the very bottom of what you're thinking of me. Like height, muscles, dick, everything else comes before brains when you look at me. I'm being dead serious. You know what I'm saying?
How many, what's your social circle like?
None. So, okay. Realistically, it's if I had to say, I would say, how many friends do I have?
And you know what? Friends don't even matter. It's
like who I interact with. What you're saying?
How many people do you truly value their opinion?
Ooh, that's a good question because that's slim, especially for most people. Ooh, I like that question.
Like my boy Coco Diaz, he says, I love Coco Diaz. He goes, we don't need 30 friends. He goes, just get 5 dudes, and 5 good dudes, and you can conquer a country. And
that's true.
And I'll probably say to get like 1.5.
I was about to say, who I genuinely who would bother me at night,
like someone who, if they gave you constructive criticism, you would take it to heart, and you would know that it is coming from a place of good. Okay, it's not like a vindictive. It's like an actual I'm trying to help you type of a thing. Yeah, because if you have an acquaintance and they say, oh, this design should have incorporated more blue. And
yeah,
it's
get
like,
fucked.
Go. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
But if one of your really close
I'll do value.
friends say, you know what, this design looks like
XYZ.
XYZ.
You could have done this better, or you could have done XYZ.
And then you're like, okay, like you'll take, like, is this?
That's a good one. I would probably say 3.
Okay.
3 that I would, and that's a little high maybe, that I would like lose sleep over, because there's other people that are close to me that I would value it, but I wouldn't like shake me. Like there's probably 2 to 3 people where if they gave me an opinion, it would hurt me, but in a good way. Like even if it was a harsh reality, I would be like, oh, that's sad, but like I appreciate this person's opinion for telling me that.
So have those 2 or 3 people ever told you were smart or congratulated you on?
No one's ever. Let me really think about this.
Because people can say you're smart in a few different ways.
I was about to say,
they don't have to.
One I would say has told me that I'm an intelligent person. The other 2 would congratulate. They probably do it in their own way. I would say the other 2 to 3 are doing it.
That's all you need.
Yeah, they're not doing it directly, but they would say, "Oh, that's a good idea," or "I see what you're doing with that." So I would probably say those 2. No, but those people are rocks. Like I've been through enough now where I know, like, these are the rocks solid. Like, these are my boy. Like these
that's
are.
All you need. You don't need some wanker telling you you're smart.
You know,
for like it does.
Right. Those are the only people I value.
It's neither here nor there.
Exactly, and
it's
I value
the people who are close
to
you.
Yeah, and I do value some of these people, like some of their opinions a lot, and because here's the thing, I hate talking about myself around other people. I told my other friend, this is so funny. He used to live in this apartment in Phoenix, and right before we went in this elevator, this was like 2 hours before, I got there early, and I'm just talking to him and his girlfriend, and I was telling them, and I was like, I hate when people bring attention to me for like things that are good. So for example, if I'm wearing a nice outfit, I'm doing it because I like to express myself in that way, and I like to look nice, and I do appreciate it if you come up to me and say, hey, I like your shoes, shirt, whatever. One-on-one, I like that, but I hate it when people say it in a group setting, because when I was growing up as a kid, when I only got attention, it was always negative. I never got positive attention. I grew up kind of fat.
So you associate it with...
I hate attention in that way. I fucking hate when people are looking at me. I hate it. That's why I wear sunglasses all the time. I hate it. Stop looking at me type of shit. I hate it. Because in the sense of like, because I don't know why you're looking at me. Because when I was growing up, I was overweight up until 7th grade or whatever. So like people used to ask me why I have boobs type of thing. So I was worried about that I was African American and I had no black people around me all the time. So I was always concerned about that. So every time I got attention, it was always a negative thing a lot. Or in sports, I wasn't doing it right or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it kind of stems from that, like not really being, noticed for positive things. So now that I'm older, when people compliment me or say, it's weird. And so we're in this elevator one time, and it was probably it was me, him and his girl, and another guy and his girlfriend, and I think another couple. And like some guy, and one dude, just another dude. We're all friends. And he just goes, hey, I like your shoes or whatever. And it was just silent in the elevator. And it's funny because I looked at my friend and I turned and I laughed at him, because literally 3 hours before that, I was just explaining how I hate that attention. Because what I've come to understand from like dating people in the past, and how no matter what anybody else wants to say, but how humans are, remember I talked about that in football, I just know how that's going to make other people feel in that situation. It's going to make people think that I like that. Because there's a lot of people who do it for that. Yeah. And they do like that public praise.
Right.
So other people are going to assume that that's kind of why I'm doing it, and that's why I like that.
Yeah.
When in all reality, I don't like that attention brought on me at all, because I don't want these other guys and girls to think like, oh, this fucking guy's just doing this. He likes, I don't like being that guy. I like being the nice, fun, happy-go-lucky dude. I don't like that type of shit.
I'm on the same boat as you.
Like, don't bring attention to me. Like, you don't need to tell me in front of. Here's what I mean. Like, a girl will say something in front of her boyfriend, and she doesn't mean it like that at all. She doesn't mean it like that. Like, she might say something about my shoes or something, but I just know that I met your boyfriend 2 hours ago. And how you talk to me, he doesn't know us and how we know each other. Right. So if I knew you before I knew him, and you're saying these types of things, remember, we're humans. Fuck what you think, right? Everybody right now thinking, oh, I wouldn't care. No, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because we're humans. If you went out with somebody and they're just complimenting some person that you just met and you don't know how they know each other,
they're not going to dig it.
They're just not going to like it. It doesn't mean they're not going to like you. They just won't fuck with it. They're not going to be
disrespectful.
Right. Like the dude's not thinking, oh, I like his shoes too. He's not fucking thinking that. You get what I'm saying?
Well, it depends on what you're. I mean, what kind of shoes are you talking about?
Like dunks or just like Travis. Okay, that's true.
If you have some Travis
crazy, some Freddie dunks like, hey. Or something. Yeah, some Freddie dunks that might make sense. But then again, he actually would, because if you knew what Freddie dunks were, you'd be into shoes enough where that would make sense.
Well, first of all, I would say, you have 30K on your feet.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, can you give me a job? Wait, what do you do for a living? That's what I would ask him. But yeah, it's just stuff like that where it's like, again, it's not even being an egotistical thing. It's just humans. That's with any guy. It's not just me. Right. I just know how men are and I know how women are, like just whatever. So I hated that attention. And now that I'm in a certain position where people give me attention, and it's probably warranted for like the artwork or whatever it is, but I still I'm a big thank you and move on guy. I'm a big just like thank you, and I don't explain myself unless people really want to get to know or whatever. Just a big thank you and move on. Or I'll even not. I won't even say, I don't know. I'm weird with that. But I think that's where it stems from too, is I just always was growing up, my attention was so negative. It was always just being, overweight or doing something wrong in school or something like that. So
although the irony here is that a lot of people who did have that as a kid, either a weight issue or something that just made them feel isolated, and then they turn things around, and as young adults or adults start to do things, they want that, like that feeds them because they didn't have it. You're contrary to that, where you're just associating it to the attention you've. I mean, you should probably let yourself get a little bit of it, especially because it's warranted. Like if you were, back to what you were saying before, where a lot of people post the
cars or something.
People post. They don't post the results. All they do is they'll post themselves doing a task, and then but it's just
them doing the task,
just doing the task, but then no, like where is this going? There's no plan. It seems like there's no plan. You have results to show, so it's a little bit, it's a little bit. I mean, you might want to.
I see what you're saying. I should a little. It's not healthy. My brain's not healthy in any capacity. That's what I tell people though. Is like, I don't want to be. This is some real shit. I love being me, but I also don't want to be me at all in a lot of ways. Because here's what I mean. If I could choose to have a second life, my other dream life, other than what I'm doing, this might sound funny, literally, my other dream, if I could redo life again, I would live in Italy, get myself a nice little Italian lady, and I would open up an Italian restaurant in Italy, and I wouldn't talk to anybody. I would just go over there. I would have my little family. I love food. I love Italian food, and I would just have my little Italian restaurant, and I would just run it with her, run it with our fucking kids until I die. And I would go home, have a glass of wine every night with my family, and enjoy that all the time. I wouldn't want any attention. I wouldn't want to be on social media at all or anything like that. Here's the problem. I'm not wired that way. Who I am today in this life, my brain is just, the amount of ideas I think of on a daily basis is not even healthy, I don't think. Like my brain does not shut off or at all. So I kind of have to be like this. I think a lot of people don't realize, people who are artists or in media or in music, like I don't have another choice. My brain, I don't fit in society. Like it does not work how a normal person, like their brain works at all. Like smoking, for example. I could smoke all day, every day, totally fine.
Cigarettes, I feel normal. Or weed?
Weed, all day. It doesn't affect me like normal. I don't care. Like that's like a normal state of consciousness, right?
Yeah.
But growing up in the 70s, if you were to do something like that, it would be such a negative thing. Like you're a loser. But if you look at Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg, Seth Rogen, and all these people,
they're high functioning.
They literally said they haven't not been high since they were 14 years of age. Yeah. But they're very, 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 very successful people.
Yeah.
So it just shows you that we're all different, and you just need to learn yourself, and you just need to figure out how you operate and fuck what anybody else says or what anybody else thinks.
Well, with the caveat though of output of like what is your result. So all of these, we were talking about Wiz Khalifa and Joe Rogan, like their output is high. So because I've heard other people say like, oh, it doesn't, similar things, except that you've got nothing going on. And
right.
But it's like but then nothing is happening here. It's like, so then, obviously it's doing something. Because
of course. I know people where it's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
It's very inhibited. You know,
we're all different. I mean, chemically, we're a hormonal. Like we're all different.
That's what I mean.
It doesn't. Things do not affect everyone the exact same way.
Exactly.
And the pharmaceutical industry and even government has made it so that they want to put everyone into these boxes, even with the body mass index, with the BMI level. According to the BMI index, I'm 100 pounds overweight because at my height, I should be about 180.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just no way. Like I could never be that.
I haven't been 180 since I was like in 8th grade.
Yeah. It's like I weighed myself yesterday. I was 280.
Actually, I was 190. Yeah.
So it's like I will never be 180. But according to this BMI index, I am super obese and I should have every obese disease. I should have the diabetes. And I mean, I do have a little bit of high blood pressure, but even that I will argue is genetic.
Mm-hmm.
But they put these people into these boxes and then they don't want to feel, then when you put people in these boxes, then they don't want to be outside of it because then it's like, then I'm a weirdo. Then
You're
I'm
an
not
outcast,
normal.
yeah.
Then I'm not, I'm being singled out for something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where things get wonky.
That's the money though for
me.
But that's the money for me because if you go back to what I was telling you earlier, dude, I have 6 siblings in my family. I'm the only black male in my whole entire family, right? So I always felt like the black shit, no pun intended, but I always felt like that. I always felt like I did it fit, but that allows me to do what that allows me to not care though about like what these people think. That allows me to not care about somebody that I've known for 10 plus years thinks.
Yeah.
That allows, you know what I'm saying?
I'm super happy for you that you took that avenue, feeling that way and having that experience growing up. I'm very happy that you turned it into this instead of turning it into something just angry. I mean, just angry that you didn't fit in, and then you did not let it sour your life. You didn't let it block you from doing other things because a lot of I don't have numbers to show for this, but I would guess that these individuals who come from have something and have something else, where they feel not part of this, not part of that, they get angry, they shut themselves in, and then it sort of just turns off because they're not getting approval. And then nothing happens. Then you're stuck in that. Whereas, I'm all Mexican, but I went to, even for this private school that I went to, I was one of 2 or 3 Mexicans. Well, there was a Puerto Rican in there.
Yeah, we'll throw them in, right?
We'll throw them in. So it's kind of like it doesn't matter. So I am happy for you and for me, where we took that and then sort of just set it aside to say, you know what? Okay, I get it. Because of the way I grew up and because of my life circumstances, I'm never going to be 100% in the black community. I'm for sure not going to be 100% in the white community. So I'm just going to be Elijah. Same thing me. I'm just going to be me. And if you dig me, come along.
Exactly.
If you don't dig me, okay. But I'm just going to go. Like that's my wife says that she likes the way I handle issues, but that's probably because you can't control everything. And I learned that early on by not being able to control what school I went to really.
Yeah.
And these little things where I just quickly got the notion of, hey, if I can't control it, I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah. And in your case, like obviously you couldn't control what loving family.
Right. Yeah. Especially being adopted. Like I literally got chosen by a specific place, So
there's a beauty in that too, in that you were chosen.
Yeah, bless my parents, because we've had a difficult road, let me fucking tell you. But we've circled back and it's all good now. And I think because it was very hard growing up in a lot of different ways, but with them, what I told them, because it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had a good heartfelt conversation about some things, and I think what I said with them, because I was dealing with a lot of this stuff with, those other people. And I was like, the thing with you guys that I love and why I want to work it out and like get over things or whatever is that you have a character issue. You don't have a soul issue. And what I mean by that is everybody has characteristic issues. I do. I rant a lot. I talk loud. I just get very in my own thoughts, and I really like to just kind of spill over in what I'm thinking. And I do acknowledge that sometimes if I'm dating somebody or I have that, I like to really get out my side a lot, and I talk a little bit too much. And I need to learn how to listen better. And I've gotten better at that, right? But that's a characteristic thing. It's like I'm a bad guy. I just talk a lot. I've learned how to like take other people's information in really, really well, or trying to. And so like my parents have other issues. If people get mad or whatever, that's fine. But other people that I know, you got a soul issue, brother. Like you'll fuck people over, you'll steal from people, you'll fuck your best friend's ex-girlfriend. Like you got a soul problem. And that's the thing
unless
with them.
These people are,
I'm just saying in general. Like people
and
have these
like,
two issues.
I don't know. I don't surround myself with people like that. And I mean, I've lost or removed acquaintances / friends because they, because there's no benefit on my part. And I've said this a few times out loud, and people think that it's a little bit whack. But with everyone that you associate yourself with and you give them of your time, and time is one of the most important things that you can give someone is your time, even more so than money, because there's some people who would rather give you $100 than to spend 15 minutes to help you with something, out of their time. So with these individuals that I've, dismissed from my life, I was getting nothing in return. And I try not to get too sensitive about it, but I made a list. I sent this list. Have you seen Flight of the Conchords?
No, but I've heard of it. Yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
It's super hilarious, and it's a comedy show. But in this comedy show, one of the guys makes a graph called the friendship graph, and then he lists 3 or 4 people, and then they have this whole meeting about how Brett is higher than Jermaine on this friendship graph, and he talks about, Brett did this and Jermaine didn't do this. So it's funny if you actually see this graph. Yeah. It's funny to rate your friends that way. But I kind of think that's a good idea because it's kind of in line with the business rule, the 80-20 business rule, where your not so good friends take up a lot of your time when your really good friends should be taking the ones who it's a active mutual respect, mutual benefit. Like they should be getting your time. If you have these individuals who all they do is suck money, suck time, it's like, why are you? I mean, I had this horrible friendship for about 3 years with a guy who I invested time and money because I was trying to help him with his career. And it was a black hole. I mean, it was a black hole of my time, black hole of my money, nothing ever. I mean, not that, not necessarily that I was expecting a full return on my investment, but not even on a friend level was anything returned. Yeah. Not even on, his time. My time and this was my fault that I let it turn this way. My time was whatever was open. His time closed off. And then I started, after 3 years, like an idiot, I started thinking, why am I here? And it's like, if you have this type of relationship, there needs to be a positive. I need to be getting something out of this. And then just, because I know you is not enough to warrant everything that I'm investing in, because I truly cared.
Yeah.
But if it's not reciprocated, then I'm going to stop investing. I'm going to stop, giving you that energy. Yeah. So that's sort of how I treat individuals, which seems cold and calculating, and
not really, because it's what I'm getting at is like, it's about, okay, I'm all about where somebody sits. Okay, here's a better way to say it. I'm all about how somebody makes me feel, and that goes with friends, coworkers, relationships, everything. Because feeling is everything. We're all based off of emotions and feelings. So it's all about how this person's energy going to be when they walk in a room. For example, if somebody were to come and, walk in right now, if you know the person, you instantly, your mood will change depending on who it is.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's your wife, whether it's somebody you don't like, whether it's and dude, it could be somebody you haven't seen in 15 years. They could walk in this room right now and you will get the same feeling that they left you with 15 years ago based on who they are as a person. So what I'm getting at is like, there's certain people that are just lazy. They don't work hard. They're stupid, incompetent, all of these things. But they're not a bad person.
Right.
And there's people out there that are the opposite. They're smart. They're intelligent. They're charismatic. They're physically gifted. But they're a terrible person. And so what I'm saying is like, there's people out there that have those differences. And so it's all about deciphering who those people are, where they're just, okay, I love this person, they're a good person in my life, and we kind of have these characteristic issues that I also have my own issues that we can work through and be better people on the other end. Where there's other people and you're just like, yo, I heard about XYZ, I heard you did XYZ, I just can't fuck with that type of a person because that my soul, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't align with the direction that your soul is heading. Like, there's certain people in my life, swear to God, I would rather sit across and have this conversation with Lucifer himself than that person. Reason why is because I know what I'm getting with him.
Right.
I know that everything he's going to tell me is probably a lie. It's not true. He's going to try to coerce me, whatever the fuck. But there's other people in my life that I genuinely would feel uneasy. There's people in my life where I honestly believe if I went to a Seahawks game or a Mariners game, I'm a weirdo. I believe in this type of shit. And they were in that stadium, in my facility, I truthfully almost feel like I would. There's people that are that have taken so much energy from me in my life that's taken years to get over. Where I just their presence would make me so uneasy to the point where I'd have to like leave the room. I believe that much in energy and like what people give off, because I don't know. I believe humans can be. I don't know. I have a lot of weird thoughts, man. If you want to get into that type of shit, but I have a lot of weird thoughts in terms of how life works and like being hunted in a way. But like, because here's how I put it. Right, this is where it gets funny. So if you what's the fastest and simplest way to put it? The ocean. When you go into the ocean and you have a harpoon and you're going fishing, whatever the fuck, and you swim by a fish or you swim by a shark, it doesn't really think much about you, right? If you swim into a school of fish, they just go around you. They don't really think much about you. You're like, oh, here's just another being in the ocean. Because the ocean is so vast. I've never seen this specific creature before. It's a human, but like whatever, it's probably just another fish, right? So you don't think about it. We're in a foreign world. We can't breathe underwater. We can't talk underwater. You can't run. There's no escape mechanism. You can't even yell for help really underwater. Think about that. There's nothing there for you that's positive. But we still go and do it when we go hunt there in this foreign land. So I just don't get why humans are so egotistical and think we're so above everything in the universe to think that we couldn't have that same interaction with other entities that are also in the universe that we live in the sense of like, we go in this uncharted territory that we don't understand, that is very unfamiliar, and we just disregard them. So if there was other things that were walking among us that were trying to get energy out of us, whatever the case may be, you wouldn't really be able to recognize them, or you wouldn't understand it, or you would just, okay, that's another human. You just disregard it. Like, you could walk past anything, like not necessarily demons, angels, or anything like that, because no, I don't think religion has anything to really play into what I'm saying. But it's more so about, I do believe there are things who walk Earth who feed on people. And whatever facet you want to put that in, to any degree you want to put that in. And also why I believe that is because if enough people believe in something, it just becomes true. The reason God exists is because enough people believe in God, right? Because if no one even had the idea ever of a specific God, whether it's Buddhism, Mormonism, whatever it is, then no one would believe in that specific religion. But enough people believe in it, it exists. I saw somebody on TikTok who believed they were a vampire. dead fucking serious. Like, they truly believed that, had the teeth and everything. And I talked to him for 20 minutes. Everybody else was making fun of him, but I was so fascinated. I was like, why does this random kid in London truthfully believe, in his heart, he truly believes in his heart, he's a fucking vampire?
Yeah.
That fascinates the shit out of me.
I mean, it's mental illness.
So, no, right, 100%. No, but 100%. But the fact that he believes it in his heart to be true fascinates me.
You know, it's not so much that he believes it.
You know what I mean?
It's that.
Oh, no, he does.
There's always been those individuals who believe there's something else, right?
Right.
The only issue now is that they're declaring it, and then they want to be they want to be verified. Or I don't even know, that's not the word. They want validation for it. That's where the issue. I mean, you can believe what you want. You can believe whatever.
Is it a fair argument then to say that's why religion was started, was to control people and to get them to follow rules and do certain things? Because at the end of the day, it's all ideology, right? So if somebody believes that they're a vampire, who's to say that that's wrong? But then some guy walked on fucking water. So everybody believes some guy can turn water into wine, but if some kid on TikTok sees a vampire, that sounds crazy. So some guy can fucking feed people with one fish. Some guy can walk on water. We can go to the moon. We can do all of these things.
Actually, 2 fish and
but
2
the
loaves,
second,
I think.
Yeah, bread or whatever. So, but then you could take all of that. I'm not even saying that's not true. All I'm saying is that's true though. Millions and 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 millions of people believe that somebody walked on fucking water, even though it's never happened again. You understand this? Billions of people through time have believed that. But the second some kid just believes he's something different, all of the sudden it's like some weird abstract thought, or like Bigfoot. I think it makes more sense that fucking werewolves and Bigfoot exist than God would exist if you break it down to a very simplistic form. I'm not saying either of these are true at all, because I believe in a God and all that type of shit. All I'm trying to say is I think we should just be more accepting to hearing why somebody. I don't think the kid's a vampire. I don't believe, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think he's actually fucking Dracula, but I'm so fascinated why you went through so much trauma, why you're hurting so bad, most likely, why you have all of these fucking issues, why no one listens to you, why no one believes in you, and you weren't athletic, you're not creative, you don't have these other avenues that other people are blessed with, and you don't think that, so you resort to having fucking teeth and going on TikTok. But I figured out art. I was an athlete. I had other avenues. If I didn't have these avenues, I would be some kid on TikTok with vampire teeth.
I mean, that's the $1 million question.
Right.
I mean, that is the, and then I was going to start rebuttaling against the religion thing. But I mean, you said you believed in a God. So like my first question was like, what is your God? Where did your God come from? What does he do?
How I look at it, this is good. Okay. If I had to give a straight up answer where we came, I don't even have the smartest. I just think we were put here by something. Now, what that is, I personally don't believe that I know, but I'm open to everything. I'm open to Muslim people, Christian people. I don't think that I have all of the answers. And that's what's fascinating to me about religion. There's so many religions, but more like they have the right one. And I'm really intrigued by that, by what makes you literally think about how interesting that is. You could have a synagogue over here, you could have a church over here, you could have a fucking, I don't know, another one would be, but you could have shit everywhere.
Temple,
there we go, mosque. You could have all of that shit, but they all believe that they're correct. And that's what fascinates me about religion the most. It's not if it's right or not, it just fascinates me that you could have 4 people sitting here, I mean, all from different facets of life.
That's
you know what I mean?
I mean, that's a pretty straightforward answer. And that's because religion is different than having a relationship with God. So, for example, if you grew up, just the word Christian, right? The word Christian is it's a huge term, right? Because under Christianity, there's every Protestant type of religion, the Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostals,
right?
They're all there. But all of those religions, because religion, let's put it this way. Christianity is the idea. Religion is the business. So
ooh, that's a good way to put it.
Methodist,
I like how you put that though.
Methodist, if you're in a mall,
that's a good way to put it.
You're in the mall of Christianity.
Okay.
Inside of the mall, you're going to go to
interesting, dude.
The Methodist store or the Baptist store.
That's a really good example.
Those are ideas that a person or a group of people came up with and said, we want to stick to these principles because
we believe
XYZ. Mm-hmm. And then the Pentecostals say, we want to. So, for example, Pentecostals focus on Holy Spirit, right? That's their big thing, is they're big on the Trinity, big on the Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm. Methodists are a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And then you have Catholicism, and then you have Martin Luther, who called out Catholics, who called out the Pope for a bunch of stuff, mostly being able to pay to have your sins forgiven. So he said, you know what? I don't like this aspect of Christianity, of Catholicism, so I'm going to go on my own and create Mormons. So then there was a group of people who turned to Mormonism. That is religion.
Right.
Religion is the business of Christianity. If you strip it all down...
So that doesn't make you see. Here's what's fascinating though. This is exactly what that's the best way I've kind of ever heard it explained to me. But then at the same time, that doesn't make you question it more. Like, doesn't it fascinate you? It doesn't fascinate you.
No,
that,
because I believe.
Yeah, what do you believe? I guess is the better way to put it.
I believe that.
What do you think? Who's your God? I guess is the best way.
Well, I went to a Pentecostal church for my whole young life, and then I went to a Christian school, and I also went to a Lutheran school. Right. So I've had a lot of religion thrown at me, and even if I were to have my childhood pastor here, he won't tell you that only Pentecostals are going to make it to heaven, right? Because that's the finish line. That's where everyone who believes anything is where they want to be. They want to be when they die, or when whatever apocalyptic event happens, you want to be in heaven. My pastor would not say only Pentecostals are going to heaven. Now, my C word of my ex-wife, she was a Jehovah's Witness. And they're Looney Tunes. It's basically a cult. And the reason I say that is because they will isolate you from your family if you don't say or do or behave in a certain way. Even within their own congregations, the way they punish you if you do something wrong, like for example, the people who knock on your door on Saturdays. Like, they have to do that, and if for whatever reasons they don't do it, it's punitive. Like, they punish people. Well, anyway, they believe that Jehovah's Witnesses believe that out of the 7 billion people that are on Earth, there's only going to be 144,000 people that are going to actually, quote unquote, make it to heaven.
See, I missed out on that boat. So, but that's what I mean, though. So then, why would I believe in that? So, like, my whole thing
wouldn't. But then you have to go back and look at the origins, right?
Right.
The origins of Jehovah's Witness, and one of my really, really good buddies is a Mormon. But even Mormonism, the origins of it they're hilarious.
They're bizarre.
They're so bizarre.
But to them, they're not. That's my point. But to them, it's right, dude. That's what I'm saying. To them, you're fucking stupid. I'm stupid. They're right. So who gives a fuck? Where
a little bit of, come on now. Like with
but that's my point, dude. But that's not what they're thinking. They're thinking the opposite. So that's why it fascinates me so much.
You're absolutely right. Although we're not talking about we're not talking about tens and tens of millions of people that believe in these things, right? It's still
that one's relatively new.
The Jehovah's Witness, the Jehovah's Witnesses became the Jehovah's Witnesses because their founder claimed to have translated the Bible and found discrepancies with the King James version. So they have their own version of the Bible that this dude did, even though he had no qualifications to translate a Hebrew and Greek Bible. So you're basically just believing you're like a Scientologist, because L. Ron Hubbard was a science fiction writer and he created Scientology. Right. This guy, what's his name? It's not Joseph Smith. It was someone else. So he wrote this book, and it's like, okay, now come and be a Jehovah's Witness. And the Mormons, they were Joseph Smith, and Joseph Smith believed that angel came down and gave him the Bible in gold tablets, and that was the real Bible. And then after he finished translating it or writing it, then God took this gold back up to heaven. So that's why he has no proof of where these words actually came from. I mean,
right.
Okay.
No, I get all that. But yeah, but I guess what I mean is
what you just described, your confusion, hesitancy, has been around forever. But all of these religion businesses were just made by dudes.
That's my point. So then why would I really... So, like, why would I not believe what Elijah believes? And why would I just believe some guy who comes to my door who's
because
a Mormon?
All of these, right? All of these still have similarities.
Right.
They're still...
So that's what...
They're still founded on certain values. So outside of Islam, because Islam does not share the same values as Christianity, they share the same values. They want you to be a good person. They want you to treat your neighbors well. They don't want you to... 10 commandments, basically.
Yeah.
Like, they don't want you to murder. They don't want you to steal. They don't want you to covet. They don't want you to do all these things. So there are similarities. So I don't know.
No, I get that too.
In my brain is... And then I mean, when I was a kid growing up in the Christian school, we had to read the Bible and memorize a ton of it every week. So there's a ton of Bible in my head. So you can always just go back and, you know, read what the Bible actually says. Like Jesus was only around he only preached for 3 years. He was alive for 33 years. He was only active for the last 3 years. He had 12 buddies who he walked around with. If you take what Jesus actually said in the Old Testament, it's very few words that were actually recorded.
See, you know what's funny? Oh, sorry, keep going.
No. So it's all of these religion businesses have extrapolated their ideas off of these few pages.
Exactly.
Well, and then you have to take into Old Testament.
You know what that sounds like to me? And I hope people don't get mad. I hope you don't get offended by this. No, I mean this like wholeheartedly. So everything I just explained to you, right? Everything that I've been through, the reason for me, that just sounds like a business guy in a suit in a pyramid scheme is what religion sounds like to me in a sense. Because how you described it was, right? This is what kind of what was just described. And here's the thing. It's hard to explain because I don't care what anybody thinks. Like, if you believe it, I just don't give a flying fuck. But my thing is, like, we just explained about, like, the mall, how it's a business, all of these types of things, and how that was kind of explained was just like, okay, here's some guy who, let's say back then he had, like, that version of a suit and tie and he had a nice haircut, so people believed in what he said, and he was just a dude who looked the part, who fits the mold. And so now you have this guy who's like, hey, I thought of an idea. If I tell people but I do believe a lot of those things are good. But if I tell people to do X, Y, Z and instill enough fear in them, if they don't do these things, they're going to go to hell. Like, I have siblings who are gay, so is she going to hell? So should I just fuck her off? You see what I'm saying? I know, this is a whole different bag of worms conversation. Yeah. But my point in saying that is just like, it just seems like how that was like some guy could have just got 12 of his buddies together and could have just been like, hey, I'm going to write this book, this manifesto, and we're just going to tell everybody that this is how it goes. Now, that's not how it happened. But, like, I don't know. The more people talk about it, it just seems to me, also the experiences I've dealt with in life, how people that I've known so close and other things that just, what they will do to other people. This guy also called me. You know what he said to me? He goes, I'll never forget this ever. We're on a conversation about 2 weeks ago. And he says, Elijah, I don't care if my managers and my employees don't like me as long as they produce, which I understand why you would say that from a business perspective. But in my head, I go, okay, so what Elijah just heard was you're okay to use people for financial gain, regardless whether or not if they like you, but you can do both. You can have people who like working for you and also make you money, which I would argue was actually probably going to help your business long term if they like you. So it's just like, I get what he's saying by that, but if people exist like that, like they'll just kind of use people for gain, then I just kind of look at a lot of things.
They're not using people. He's not using them for gain because he's compensating them.
He is, but it's not necessarily fair, let's say. So it's like, okay, so let me put it this way. If you have people who like talk shit about you all the time, like talk about your wife, talk about your kids, say you shouldn't be in the position that you're in, and talk down on you all of the time, the point that I'm getting at is, why would you want those people to work for you?
Well, better question is, why would those people want to be there?
See, but this is the exact conversation I'm trying to have with these people. Exactly. So why is anybody working there? Well, because that's exactly my point. Because they're making money, right?
Well, yeah.
So then it comes down to
money.
Exactly. So this is my whole point of saying that. What you obviously care about money, you don't care about people. That's obviously all you care about. Because if you literally just told me, do you understand what somebody just said? I don't care if they like me. That's like us being business partners. And I could give a fuck if your wife likes me, your kids like me, or if you like me.
Yeah.
But as long as we're making money, that's fine. And that's okay to live your life that way if that's what you believe.
Yeah.
That's fucking fine. I don't look at life that way.
But that's, that's not
that's business,
abnormal.
I guess. But
that's normal.
But that's the problem I'm trying to get to is that that's normal. Why is that a normal thing to say? Why is it normal for me to sit across from you right now and tell you to your face,
well, I mean,
I could give a fuck if I like you or not? That's pretty
easy, though.
But,
I mean, because you don't, then we've sort of switched now to a conversation about capitalism. But
true. Which I like capitalism, you know. I'm here for it.
Because you have to be, and actually, I was listening to, so I have a new client, and he's a leadership coach. And this guy...
Do you care if he likes you? Let me ask you. Would you care? Would that bother you if he was saying that?
No.
It wouldn't bother if he was talking like shit about your wife or anything?
Well, no. There's a difference between someone in a professional setting. There's a difference between not actively not liking versus just
shit.
Not friendly.
That's what I mean. Like, what if you heard he was talking negatively about your wife? That wouldn't bother you?
Well, no, because okay. First, I wouldn't put myself in that situation.
Let's say you ended up doing it.
I try to be with my clients. I try to be as professional as I can. So, and then I separated. Like they only one of my clients, two, have ever been to my home or have met my wife. It's like I keep it separated.
Well, that makes perfect sense. I get it in that sense. But what I'm saying is like, I see. You think differently than me. Then even so, if you had somebody, I would never ever have anybody work for me who would talk negatively about my wife. I would never think twice.
But as you as the boss, or you as the employee?
Me as the boss. Because why are you talking fucking shit about my wife, dog? I employed you. Like, I'm doing all this stuff. We're trying to build this company together. Why is my wife's name in your mouth? That makes no sense to me. If anything, it should be business. That's what I'm getting at.
So if you're talking
about work, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you're attacking my wife, fuck you. You're not going to work for me. That's how I would look at it.
If you're a boss, and you have that type of work environment, again, that's your fault because you've created this culture where that's okay.
Because you don't care about people and you only care about money. That's what I think.
But no, there's a clear separation between gossip, and being professional. It's like, what type of work environment is this? Like if this is an office environment, or I'm sorry, what type of work environment is this? Like, are these supposed to be professional people?
Yeah, I mean, they wear suits every day and they take $400,000 from people and put in their savings accounts and retirement accounts.
I mean,
then they do cocaine and then fuck people's wives. I just don't understand how this is okay with people. I just don't understand.
I don't see why. Well,
you see what I'm saying?
Unless this, I don't see how it would matter. I mean, because one, you can't control what other people say. Right.
You can, though, by how you treat people.
No.
So, for example, obviously you can't control what other people say.
You'll never be able to control how other people behave. I misspoke in that sense.
Say. Okay, obviously, you can only control yourself in this life. Yeah. I understand that. But what I mean is, like, there's people that I know in my life who, based on our interactions that I've worked with, that would never talk about me in that negative way.
I mean, but there's probably plenty that will.
Okay. I understand that, but then I wouldn't have those people work for me. So here's what my point.
So if you were
running, so it's really not that hard. Okay, I don't get why this is okay. So if I was running your podcast, let's say I was your sound person, you have me over to your house, whatever. I help you move. You have me over to your house. You cook me dinner. You do all of these nice things for me. right?
Yeah.
And then you find out on the flip side that the person that you hired or whatever is actively talking negatively about you and wants you fired from your position.
Okay.
I just don't understand, outside of just only doing it for money, which is my whole point, that this would only be for money, why you would let that fly.
Well,
if he was saying, literally, he sits in your house, and let's say he's sitting right here helping you with this, and your wife comes here, all this shit, and you overhear that he's calling her fat or he's calling her whatever, and saying all of these things,
so
I just don't get why you would let that person work for you.
So,
when somebody else could do the same job.
Was it a good relationship and then something made it different? Or
all I'm saying is,
because it deserves the conversation. So if as a boss or as a manager,
right,
that type of negativity amongst the team,
right,
needs to be dealt with. So the question is,
that's my point.
Is that, but then this is a leadership. This is a leadership issue.
It's a cancer, right?
So you need to ask. It's like, what is going on here? And it's like, what is the problem? And if it's just petty, if it's petty gossip and petty hearsay,
attacking your wife's not petty gossip.
Well, let's just, for the sake of labeling, it's petty. Then if the boss or the person in charge says, okay, this type of conversation cannot be happening in this professional setting, focus on your job. If you have time to be gossiping like this, then you're not paying attention to what you're supposed to be doing. Right. Focus on your job. And if it keeps on, if it happens again, then yes, that
which it does.
Okay. So then that's
exactly my point. Dude.
So he's letting.
Yes, that's exactly my point.
He's letting it.
He knows about it. Yes, that's my point. So he knows about it. This is exactly my point.
Well,
he knows about it.
I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucked up.
I mean,
no. You want me to give you a specific example? This is real life. I'll give you like specific shit, dude. Well, this is real shit.
The what they're saying doesn't matter. What matters culture. Is why he's allowing.
That's my whole point I've been trying to say, and it goes back to the money. That's what I was fucking saying. Yeah. Is this though? Is like you said, gossip's gonna, dude. I get it. People gossip to me about other models all the time. I get how it goes, but my point is, but they're not gossiping about these other models, saying that they shouldn't work here and attacking their boyfriends, saying their boyfriends are fucking stink or whatever the fuck. There's a difference between like, hey, Brittany did X, Y, Z. I don't really like Brittany because she like took my mascara, whatever the fuck. Versus, hey, Brittany fucked my husband. That's what and you know about it. And then you skip over it because they make you money. That's my point. It's like, you know it's going on. You know they talk about you and your family in this way. And it's been told to you by not just me, multiple other people. And then you tell me, I don't care if people like me or not as long as they produce. That's when I drew the line. Because there's a difference between, hey, I don't like this guy, we don't get along, versus this person's malicious to me and I'll keep them around because they're making me money.
And I mean, there's still a whole lot to unpack there, because if someone is causing that much strife and is that toxic,
you would think,
then they're not producing. So either he's grown accustomed to, or he has a false idea of what producing actually is.
That part.
Which means that he's just not understanding his business, because there's no way that someone who is this way is
and he's not, dude. See, this is what I'm saying.
Well, right. So that's the leadership. It's a leadership issue,
exactly.
Which is what I was mentioning my new client, because he's a leadership coach, and man, we can talk about this for so much longer.
Oh, I can.
And he's if you watch stuff on Instagram, there's so many entrepreneurs who, like what we were saying before, they just talk about dumb stuff, but don't actually mention any results. Like
or even trying.
One of the funny ones that I really love is are the guys who tell you to start an LLC for everything.
Yeah, all the time. You just write it. It's like, that's not how it works exactly.
It's like, start an LLC, then you do a C Corp,
right?
And then you hire your kids and you pay them $24,000 a year, and then you change everything over to your house, and then you get a $30,000 loan so that you can, and then never once in any of these do they actually talk about generating the revenue to pay for all of these?
Yeah, I was about to say.
It's like, what are you selling? Like,
what's your business? Like,
what's your business? Yeah. It's like they're just telling you to. Well, anyway.
Yeah, that's funny.
There's so many of these, but the client that I'm working for now is really, really aware that there's no value in that. And so, and then his background is 22 years in special ops.
Right.
And can't talk about most of the stuff that, that he did. And one of the interesting things of when he was deployed like 5 or 6 times, when he mentions his days as a Green Beret, he calls it his work. He says, my past work, my old work. And I that's a really interesting, I find that extremely interesting that he's calling it work and coworkers. And anyway, so we're trying to make leadership content that isn't douchey and isn't just full of truisms and isn't full of just telling people that they're great. Because if you're a leader,
you have to be harsh at times. Of course,
it can't all be
flowers and roses.
It can't all be. So, what I was going to say is that this person needs to hire my new client as a business coach, or as a leadership coach, because you have to. And this is I'm not a leader of anything. I'm a leader of this podcast, and I'm a leader of my backyard and what flowers I'm going to put in.
Yeah.
I don't lead anything, but my client is a true bona fide leader. And then he says that you have to, that leadership is something that you have to practice every day, and you have to be self-aware, and you have to train yourself and think about you have to think about best outcomes for both.
Like I was saying earlier, you know what I mean? You got to be able to look at things and see how it plays. Like, for example, that whole scenario I just told you about, here's what I'm getting at. I'm smart enough to understand by what you just said, in the long run, that's not going to fly. You can't run a business like that.
Oh, yeah, it's
in
not
the
sustainable.
long run. That's what I mean. And also, here, let me add 2 more things to this story so it makes a little bit more sense. First thing is, when I started working at this company, I was there for 1 year and 3 months. There was 7 other people who worked there when I started. None of them are still there.
Yeah, I mean,
so they're all gone. Yeah. And then the second thing is, you have to keep in mind, this is somebody that I've known for over 10 years, who I looked up to, who I really valued their opinion. I looked up to as like a second father to me. So that's why it's different when somebody says something like that, because then that tells me you'll use me. That tells me you don't care if I like you as long as I make you money. And I'm not cool with that. I get that that's how like business world works, and maybe that's how Bezos, I get how that's how you big wig business guys might be. And I'm not even necessarily saying that it's wrong. All I'm saying is Elijah doesn't operate that way. Yeah. Elijah would never have a company. Let's do a podcast because we all know the people. Let's do Joe Rogan, Jamie. Been there for a long time. So this manager has been with this company for they've known this guy for, let's say, 6 to 10 years, almost as long as probably Jamie and Joe. Perfect example. Let's say Joe finds out that Jamie is talking about his wife behind his back. You would have to, that's a real conversation to have.
He would can him right away.
That's my point. Because he's good at what he does, but Joe is so big now that somebody could easily and gladly take that role.
Right.
And if you found out that somebody you've known for 5 to 10 years is talking shit about your wife behind your back, I can't have you work for me. Joe would not get on his podcast and say, and verbatim, that's what this guy said to me. And Joe would never verbatim say, I don't care what Jamie says about me as long as he makes me money. Now, when I put it in that context, it sounds crazier. Because when it's somebody you know.
Is this a sales job?
Yeah, it's a sales job, of course, insurance. Okay. So it's obviously a dog-eat-dog world.
I can see, I hate being devil's advocate.
No, you're right. I get what you're saying, dude. I get it in that. But again, as somebody I care about, that's the whole point. Is like in a normal world.
You have emotional investment.
Exactly. That's what I was also trying to tell other people is like, in a normal world, that's sales. I get it. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Yeah. But I know you, bro. Like, I look at you as a second, so that's why it hurts me, is because I know you. If it's a normal world, I get it. When you have that emotional investment,
but
you know what I mean?
I'm going to recommend you read this book called The Stoic. Is that what it's called?
Let's take a gander here. Yeah, because that's the thing. Where, like, a lot of the things I talk about, like, in a normal world aren't that crazy. You know what I'm saying? But when it's somebody close to your heart, it's like, dude. And I guess this is more so what I mean. I never thought you would say something like that. That's why it changed me so much. Like if this is some normal random business guy that I've known for a year, I wouldn't really like be that crazy if you said that.
Yeah.
But the fact that I've known you for so long and I never thought of you in that light, it just makes me it was like that shock of like, whoa. Yeah. I didn't think you were like that. I knew other people were like that.
Man, we can talk about this for so much longer.
Well, I love
because
talking about that.
I don't let people disappoint me because my expectations are almost none. Like I don't expect.
That's me for most.
I don't expect much from just about anything. It's like I expect my wife to love me and support me, and that's the most important thing. And my, and my 1.5, 1 3/4 friends who I expect support or but other than that, I expect nothing from anyone else. So if you don't set an expectation, that people aren't going to abide to meet, it just saves yourself disappointment.
Yeah. I get that 100%.
It's like I don't know why people put politicians on pedestals. I don't know why people put celebrities or athletes on pedestals. It's like we can admire, first of all, I hate LeBron James with
don't do this to me. Oh, God, we're gonna be here for 5 hours.
We talked about this before.
It's true.
But I hate LeBron James, but it's like I can look and see his game and say, man,
respect it or whatever.
LeBron has the ability to travel so effectively and not get called for travels.
I will admit
that is commendable.
That one shot looks a little shady. I won't lie.
I can do that, but LeBron's politics. First of all, I don't care, and then two, from what I do read, he's an imbecile. I like to laugh at him, but then on the contrary, for Jordan, who I will always love. Right. I don't care about his politics either.
Yeah.
And and Jordan is smart enough to know that his politics are personal. Well, they matter to him.
Yeah.
So you keep those inside.
That's what you're saying.
And don't speak out of turn.
Yeah.
Without really knowing, and he keeps it that way. I mean, and it's
really only a negative to talk.
It's
that
like
much.
Why I will never be disappointed by an athlete because I don't have any expectation. Like I'm a huge cycling fan and I have been for a very, very long time. Probably one of the coolest things my wife and I have ever done is we were in Paris in 2005 and we were standing alongside the Champs-Élysées, and that's where the Tour de France finishes. They do laps around it. And so I got to see Lance win his 7th tour. Probably the most awesome, one of the coolest things I've ever done. And I would have debates with someone that I worked with about how he thought that Lance was a big doper and, did PEDs and cheated for his 7 years. And then I defended him. I'm like, no, he's just really good, really good, really good. And then, my thoughts, they didn't change, but I started, as I got older and stopped caring less about what other the external things that were happening. When Lance finally came out and said, I cheated, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm like, all right.
Right. Still good.
My identity isn't based off of how much I love Lance.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, their identity is just so ingrained in these ideas. And when anything happens, they just don't know how to deal.
Yeah.
So it's man, but read this book called The Daily Stoic. I'll show it to you. I think
I've heard of it actually too. I keep saying that, but I do think.
I think that a lot of the things that we've spoken about and some of your ideas on how you do stuff, you'll like that because it's The Daily Stoic is a collection of writings of Marcus Aurelius, Epicus, Seneca, and one other two dudes. And it's not a book that they wrote. It's ideas taken from their daily journals.
Oh, interesting. I see.
So it's so Stoicism
it's like their
is
thoughts in a book,
philosophy. So it's a philosophical idea where, and a lot of it is if you can't change it, don't worry about it. You can't control it, don't worry about it. Focus on what you can do. Like yesterday's idea was things that you think are a disadvantage. If you try to think of them and find something to turn it into your advantage.
Yes, I like that.
Like those types of ideas, basically move forward, progress, take what you can, implement, don't procrastinate, don't be lazy, have interceptic thoughts.
Interperspective.
Yeah. Interspective thoughts.
Big words. I'm not good with big words.
Like they're all of this. I think that you would dig it. And it's not a book. It's basically you read one page, you read one idea a day, and then the author just expounds on it a little bit.
Right.
I think that you would dig it.
Okay, sorry, keep going.
No, I was gonna.
Oh, no, because I like that too, because go back to what we were talking about. Like I've dealt with a lot of things from people who are close. So stuff like that helps a lot, because I've had to change how I think about things, because people I feel like so close to me have done certain things where it's forced me to think how I just thought about that last situation. Yeah. So if somebody that close to me would talk to me in that way, and if I've dated people who are so close to me who enjoyed inflicting pain on me, then what's a stranger going to do to me? So when I've dealt with things, not care. More than, but the whole point is like exactly. Yeah. But I always understood that. But when it's people who are close to you that don't care to that degree, kind of like what you're saying, the people closest to you, those opinions, when one of those people ends up, doing something to you that really affects you in that way, it just kind of changes your outlook on how you
have to be
read
guarded.
Situations. Right. It's healthily guarded. Yeah. Like you have to be guarded in a healthy way where you don't turn into a very, very negative and angry person towards everything.
You have to be open enough to be receptive to others, letting them in a little bit, but then very carefully so.
And who you kind of let, right.
Because, and we can talk about that forever too, because last year I tried to help a family member, and it wasn't all horrible, but I made some initial mistakes in how I was thinking. And then one of my really good friends, Trisha, I was venting to her. It's like, oh, this person, this and this and this. And then Trisha just looked at me and she goes, were you asked for help? Did this person say, can you please help me XYZ? And I just said, no. And then she's like, you idiot. Then why are you freaking out over this?
Yeah, no, that's an interesting one, though.
You are putting this is your own doing.
Yeah.
You can't put people, this is what we said before, you can't make people do what you want. You can't control how they feel or what they're going to do. And then I'm like, you know what? You're absolutely right. So then I sort of not that I stopped caring, but I turned it more into a professional relationship and set expectation. And once I did that, the other person wasn't capable of meeting up to that expectation, and it didn't work out. Now, did that experience, will it prevent me from opening my home to others in the future? Like, it's going to have to be, it's going to have to be an extraordinary circumstance to where I do that. But it's all weird. Well, Elijah,
yeah, I just gotta charge my phone and everything.
Thank you so much for coming. We had a 2-hour conversation.
Damn, that was already 2 hours?
That was 2 hours.
Wow. Let's get one more. I want to hear, because I want your advice on marriage.
Get married. It's the
best thing you can do.
I
can't wait to have a fucking kid, dude. I can't wait. In due time. You know what I mean? All, in due time.
It is extremely commendable.
Right.
That you're saying married, then have a kid.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait to have a family. Oh my gosh. You don't understand. I watch videos about kids all the time. Nothing gets me more excited than having fucking little kids. I don't know why. I just the concept of having I don't know. I love it. Like a wife, a kid, and all that kind of stuff. It gets me excited because I don't know. I don't need it, but I like having that thing that truthfully gives you. I think that's the point of life is to have a family. In my opinion,
should probably. You'll come back.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Let's come back because this is I think this is a really important topic.
I can almost do a whole episode on just
there's so much attention being put right now to high value man, high value woman.
Oh, this is a good time. Yeah, this is funny.
And I definitely have thoughts, and they're not either one.
Right.
What was this guy's name? Samuel.
Oh, why am I blanking on his name? Oh my gosh. Kevin died. Samuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, black guy.
He's dead, but man, he
has some hitters in there, I ain't gonna lie.
What he has produced through the years, it's gonna live on forever and ever. It's like, is he well, in my opinion, he's wrong on a whole lot of things, but dead on others. And with the younger kids, even them watching Andrew Tate or any of the Tate brothers, it's some of it dead on that needs to be. Other stuff, douchey, absolutely.
Right.
Toxic, probably.
Exactly.
Unproductive, yes.
Right.
But you can extrapolate a lot of ideas from, or even there's a female podcaster named Pearl.
Yeah.
Just Pearly.
Yeah, Pearl's
like
funny.
She's very insightful, but again, some of the things she says are just that they're just for shock value.
Yeah, it's for attention. Yeah, you can't actually believe it. Yeah.
When she says that women shouldn't be able to vote, like that's dumb.
Yeah, you're like that's okay.
You're just
what sense does that make?
You're just trying to be a female redheaded version of Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
And it's like
much.
I get it. Like you have to do those every now and then. And then even the whatever podcast or that other guy.
I've seen that one too.
Oh, who's that other guy? I don't even know if he's black. He looks like from the Middle East.
I think I know Buzzcut.
Yeah,
with a beard. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know his name, but see, those podcasts are fascinating to me too because it sucks because most people aren't smart, like yourself, who can kind of decipher and kind of sift through what's true or not. Right, what's true or not. And the thing that's fascinating is like so much of that is true and not because I've dated women who have been evil, vindictive, and I've actually dated a woman who told me she enjoys inflicting pain on me, like that's just crazy shit like that. So it gives you that weird space of like, there was a point in my life where you hate women, like all that type of shit. But then there's another point where you're just like, okay, well, obviously that's not all of them. That's not true. And there's some that are good because I met some that are good. Yeah. And it's men and women too. But yeah, that's a fun can of worms.
But I mean, we can talk a lot about that.
Yeah, we should probably stop on that note because I'll go off for long on that.
I will say, get married.
I want to.
It is. There's the statistics of what happens to men when they get married. They're just there. It's like you're like everything bad that could potentially happen to a man is decreased exponentially when they get married.
Right. So,
but get married.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a good idea. Sounds like a plan for sure. I want myself a little booth.
Well, thank you so much for coming. We had a great conversation.
Yeah, that flew. That's crazy.
Tell us where to find your.
Oh yeah,
we didn't even talk about the brand, man.
Yeah, fuck, we did it.
Sometimes it's okay to just.
No, that's good. I mean, we just riffed. You know what I mean? So that's a good conversation. Yeah. No, Elijah Nichols 6 is Instagram for personal. Then Liberate Fashion now or _fashion. I just changed it. Is for the brand and everything. I guess one thing I did want to say to everybody going off of that was a quote that I heard yesterday, and it was a guy talking about building a brand and building a business, and what he said was, you need to find people that care and then create good work that matters to them. And I love the way he said that because it's all about, if you think of Noble, the CrossFit brand, or if you think about Nike or anybody else, they saw their people that they wanted to sell to, their market, and then they designed their stuff around those people and brought them good products for them. So for me now, doing hand-drawn graphics for the EDM space, I just want to make good quality hand-drawn graphics of the things and artists of people that you guys enjoy.
Right.
So it helped me figure out like, okay, I have this niche, I have this thing. Now I just need to focus on how do I create good work for them. So if anybody's listening, whether it's art, podcasting, or anything else, figure out who it is and then figure out how you can create good work for those specific people. And then if it grows big enough, it spills over. So Noble, I think, just sponsored like an NBA event. So now they're doing that type of stuff. When they started out as a kind of a CrossFit thing. So if you grow big enough and if your stuff's good enough, other people will see and they'll just want to come in and be a part of that. So that's just a big thing that I just wanted to share.
No, that's awesome.
It helped me.
Yeah.
And the best way to put it too,
you have to know your demo. You have to know who your customers are and cater to them.
And he said your brand. This is where it really hit me real quick. This is the biggest one for me. Is he said this. He goes, "You've never seen one, but if you went to a Nike hotel, you know what it would look like. Like you could picture a Nike hotel in your brain without them ever building one." He's like, that's how you need to do your brand in anything. Like you need to be able to do like a car wash, a hotel, or different types of things, and people would know that it's your thing. And that also helped me really just like, okay, I need to be able to transfer everything I'm doing kind of to anything. So yeah.
Hey man, that's,
okay.
If that could be bottled
Get me off
up,
of here.
that would be, people would pay $10 million to be able to create stuff like that, or to create something that is going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
we can talk so much more.
Yeah,
about
I know.
that.
All right, get me out of here.
You know what went into my brain right away was font. I love fonts.
Me too. Yeah.
So every documentary about fonts,
documentaries about them?
Oh yeah.
You should send me some. Actually,
there's a documentary on Helvetica that is
how it started.
Yeah,
because I know which one that is. Yeah. Interesting.
It's brilliant. And then James May.
Dude, please send it because I'm an art. I would need. This is actually really good that you said that.
James May. There was a segment on Top Gear UK where James May spoke to the woman who created the font for the UK highway system, the ones that they use on their highways, like the A4.
Interesting. Like somebody had made Times New Roman, you know?
Yeah.
So
I sat there and watched it.
That's funny. That's good. All right, man. Yeah. Anyway,
thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Don't forget to follow, subscribe. I'm on every well, not everyone, but I'm on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. Check us out on. You can see this handsome fellow on YouTube.
Stop it.
I'll put all of your links in the show notes and tag.
Get it figured out.
And then the sponsors are my boy Kelly. So I will link back to my boy Kelly so you can support a local Seattle artist with his the things that he's written. And then Rancho Bravo Tacos. And then if you need to clean your sneakers, the Sneakers Friend. We didn't even talk about that, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, shit.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Later.
Adios.